What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith, and welcome to the Nerdy Narrative. These days, I tend to bounce around between all of the major genres. Sometimes I get into the subgenres, but for the most part, you're gonna find me reading something in science fiction, fantasy, horror, manga, comics, literary classics, a little bit of nonfiction, and on occasion, some poetry. Today is Friday. That means it is time for another weekly wrap-up about what I read, what I'm still currently reading, and what I plan to read next. Let's start with the comic that Una and I are currently buddy reading together. And that, my friends, would be Chew by John Layman and Rob Guillory. I believe between the two of them, they handle everything with this comic. I believe John wrote and did the lettering, and Rob drew and colored it. Chew is yet another creator-owned comic that is put out by Image Comics, and it is not at all what I expected. I had a little bit of warning of what to expect, but I still didn't quite get it. It's hilarious though. I'm absolutely loving it. I've only read the first 15 issues so far, and the premise of the comic: chicken has been outlawed. Apparently, a very terrible case of bird flu hit, but as a result, the US and a lot of the world have outlawed chicken. There are so many food puns in this book. It just really feeds my soul. Michael Nip, this is not one for you, my friend. The humor that is provided in the story and the puns, along with what Rob does with his illustrations and just the Easter eggs hidden throughout in the background of the panes, have just been giving me life. I've really been enjoying it, but it is a much darker comic than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be a whole load of laughs, but it really does have a good storyline that's very, very dark. Very dark. And I guess you could say that a trigger warning would be cannibalism. But it's kind of funny. The next book that I finished was Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie, book 2 in the First Law trilogy, and it was really something. This installment of the First Law trilogy was very plot driven. The first one was hands down character driven only. There was very little plot in my opinion. This one, all plot. All plot. It was so good though. It was so good. While it was not as humorous as the first one, I didn't do as much chuckling and laughing as I did with the Blade itself. Even so, there were still times that I did get a laugh because I still feel like Joe is poking fun at some of those familiar tropes that we've read about so many times and are often found in fantasy novels. I still found a couple of areas where I felt like he did that, and I just really have to give him a nod with that particular approach. I really liked where this one went. I have no idea where it's going to go from here in the last Argument of Kings. I honestly just draw a complete blank when I try to think, where's this story going to go next? I literally can't think of what might happen because I was so surprised at where this one went. I had a few things that I figured out and it went the way I thought, but there were so many other things that I did not see coming. I really enjoy that. And while I enjoy that, it also drives me a little bit crazy because I just love the story and I want to think about it and have fun imagining where it might could go, but my brain just draws a blank. So I can't wait to read the third and final one and see what happens. If you have read this series, or if you have at least read Before They Are Hanged, I did film a collab with Yolene Reads. Steve talks about books and stuff. And then one of our friends in the community, Stacy. I believe that should be up on Yolene's channel. I will have that linked in the description box. So if you'd like to see that collab, click down below and check it out. I'll also put the one we did for the Blade itself if you want to catch that one too. And then the final book that I completed this week is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I have not yet rated this book because I'm still trying to think of where I stand on it. And I may not rate it for a while. I think I need to do some more reading of Russian literature. I need to do some more learning of Russian history. I need to know more about the culture and the why of what was happening in the times that these authors were putting together these stories, because I feel like I'm missing out on the importance of some of the themes and characterizations that are taking place in these books. So I feel like I need to personally do some more research to better understand what I'm reading. Now, as far as just reading it for enjoyment, I did get a lot of enjoyment out of the Brothers Karamazov. A lot. But there was a lot I just didn't understand. I will say I did get a lot of help from the informative analysis that the Codex Cantina put together after each of the 4 sections that the read-along was divided up into. That did help me a lot, but I still feel like if I'm going to continue my journey through Russian literature, I need to just develop a better groundwork for myself. So it sounds like I have some homework. So that'll take care of everything that I finished. Let's talk about the 2 books that I am still currently working on. So on Monday, I started Motherless Brooklyn by Jonathan Lethem, and I was absolutely shocked. I almost feel the blurb and how this book is marketed is wrong, or at least what is standing out to me is not so much the detective story aspect, but the aspect of the main character, how he deals with Tourette's, how he copes, how he didn't even know what it was. Lionel is an orphan. He was raised in an orphanage, a home for boys. He had no idea that he had Tourette's syndrome. They refer to him as a freak, as retarded, that there was something wrong with him, and it just, his internal monologue and how he walks you through some things that happened in the past. Now, it is wrapped in a mystery, and it does take you through how he came to work for this man and the detective agency that he's currently employed by, the case that he's investigating, but it also takes you through his past, how he came to be in his profession and the job that he now has. And it started when he was a teenager, and you're just in his head as the different tics develop, trying to keep his body from reacting to the tics as they manifest. And I am just absolutely floored by it. Absolutely floored. His thought process. I do not have Tourette's. I do know a few people that have it, but they have a very light case. And they manage it so well that I didn't even know they had it until they actually told me they did. I didn't really take notice of it because I have tics myself. I don't have Tourette's, but I'm very quirky. I have things that I do as a result of things that have happened in my past, but I don't know anyone with the level of Tourette's that our main character Lionel has, and I would love to get their opinion on this book. Is this correctly portrayed? I need to know, because it's making me feel some kind of way about the main character, and it is not like any book I would have ever picked up or chosen for myself. This was chosen for me by my patron Evie. Her name was drawn in my monthly drawing to pick a book for me to read and review, and I have really benefited greatly from doing that, because there have been books chosen for me I wouldn't have picked up, and it's just really making an imprint on my reading experience and just opening up doors for other avenues for me to go down, and I really am enjoying this book. The other book that I'm still currently working on is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, book 2 in the Red Rising series. I just cannot comprehend everything that is happening in this book. I can't tell you what my star rating is right now, because there's so many things going on and my emotions are just getting yo-yoed all over the place. And even though I can't give you a rating, it doesn't mean I'm not thoroughly enjoying myself. I actually am flying through this book. I just picked it up a couple of days ago, and I have just been soaking it up, except one time it really angered me what happened to a character, and so I got mad and I put it down. I had to work through my emotions over what happened. But it wasn't long before I found myself reaching for it again because I needed to know what was going to happen next. It's so different. It's so unexpected, so unpredictable. Although it feels predictable, I keep thinking I know what is about to happen, and I am so wrong. It's just so clever, a lot of the things that are happening. Now, there are some stupid stuff that happen. Stupid. It just makes no sense. That's probably just me being emotional because I was mad about what happened to a particular character in a situation. It was just stupid because that person didn't have the outcome that I wanted them to have. So there's literally no objectivity from me on this one. It's strictly personal. I'm curious as to how I'm gonna feel once I finish this one out tonight. So you'll have to wait for next week on that. Okay. So, alright, so we've talked about what I read, what I'm still reading. Let's talk about what I will read next. First up, I will be continuing my journey through the comic series Chew. The current plan is to have read through issue 40 by the time I check in with you guys next week. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. This comic has been an absolute delight. It's probably going to be my favorite comic to date. Not that I've read a whole lot of comics yet, but I feel like this is going to be hard pressed to knock this one down from the top spot. And then as soon as I finish Golden Sun tonight, I am going to be going directly into The Dark That Dwells by Matt Digman and Ryan Roddy. That is a husband-wife self-publishing team. This is another science fiction novel I have been dying to get to, and it is finally here. It's going to happen either tonight when I finish Golden Sun or first thing tomorrow. I'm very excited to get into this one. I've heard nothing but great reviews for it, and I'm looking forward to finally getting to update you guys with my initial thoughts. Then the other book that I plan to start tomorrow is the highly anticipated The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. I have absolutely been dying to read this book ever since Angela from Literature Science Alliance talked about it on her channel. She was fortunate enough to get the advanced reader copy for it. She really enjoyed it. I'm going to have her video about it linked down below for you to check out. If once you watch her video, you're like me and you want to dive into this book, now is a great time to do so, because come join us over on the Nerdy Narrative Discord. This is a Discord-wide buddy read for the month of April. We will be kicking it off tomorrow. It is read at your own pace, so if it is a couple of days before you get your hands on a copy, no worry. We will have all the spoilers marked according to what chapter that spoiler falls into. Come join the conversation whenever you can. We would love to have you. And as always, I will have the link to my Discord in the description box below. But we are so excited to read this book this month. I would love to have you join us. And so that takes care of everything that I got to enjoy this week reading wise and what I'm planning to get into next that I'm really excited about. I hope you had an equally rewarding reading week yourselves. If you have anything that you're reading that you're really excited about and you want to share with me, please drop that down in the comments down below. I am constantly adding to my list of things I want to read. I'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you so much for watching today. I hope your morning has gotten off to a wonderful start. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and your weekend is absolutely amazing. Take care, and I'll see you soon.